So I was walking through Walmart and I saw another gaming chair that looked more comfortable, so I had to check it out. It's the X-Rocker X Pro 300 Pedestal video gaming rocker with Bluetooth technology.
Come on.
So the first thing I noticed in this version, besides the fake leather, was that they added a bunch more padding here. So that cross member is still there, but there's so much padding around it that you can hardly even feel it. The other thing is part of the requirements when I purchased these other chairs was to have the speakers pointing forward, but I didn't do enough looking at the chair. I just assumed that since it had these parts sticking out that the speakers were in here, but they're not. They're actually up here. So the speakers are actually just right here. I don't know if you can tell, but they're not huge. But they point out the side. Another thing that's interesting in this design is that it folds down like the other ones, but because they put those bumps, you have to push down and it actually bends the arms out. So I mean, if you have to fold it up and down a lot, it's either going to wear out this section of the chair, this arm, or it's going to make the arms loose because they're getting pushed out to put the thing down. Another major benefit to this version is they moved the subwoofer to the back. So if you look at the old video, they actually had the subwoofer down here. Having it in the back, I think, is a much better placement. And I don't know if it's because the speakers are pointing out the side instead of the back of your head now, but there's much improved bass with this version of the chair. It could be because you have to turn it up louder to be able to hear the speakers up top, or it's just the being in the back, it's a better design. These arms don't fold up. They're stationary, but they have padding, which is, it's pretty thick, so it seems much more comfortable. All right, and just like the other one, the layout is similar. This one's black, blends in with the chair much better. But you've got the power, where the power comes in, your bass adjust, your volume adjust, your audio input, an RCA, your audio output, which on the last chair I didn't really understand the purpose of this, but I figured it out and I'll show that later. Your headphone or 1/8 inch audio in, which is what I use coming from the computer. The switch for Bluetooth or using the onboard, the headphone jack going out, and then they added this USB port. But the USB port is just for power. So if you're plugging in a MP3 player or your cell phone, you can power that so that you don't have to kill the battery to send the Bluetooth signal. The folding is the same as it was before. It just has this pin right here. When you fold it up, you put the pin through and then push the Velcro down. And the rest is pretty much the same. So one of the questions I got a lot on the last video was the height. And if I go all the way back, it's about 8 inches off the floor. And the pedestal is not adjustable. It's a fixed base. I just remeasured this one, and although on the front it looks like it's higher because it kind of tilts up in the rock, it actually is the same height off the floor as well. It's 8 inches. So I realized why it wasn't listed as a wireless gaming rocker, and it's because it doesn't come with a transmitter. So luckily I was able to pick this up for cheap off of Amazon, and it's just an analog to Bluetooth transmitter. And it comes with this little, really small device, and it has a USB port for power as well as a built-in battery. And then it uses a 1/8 inch jack, headphone jack, and it comes with the adapter. So I could plug this into my TV, and then my TV has Bluetooth, or not Bluetooth, but a USB port. So this will actually get powered from the TV, and I won't have to deal with batteries, where the one that came with this model takes a couple of AAAs, and then you could also buy an adapter to power it, but you'd have to run that to power and then string it up the wall to the TV, where I could take this guy, hook this into my audio out, hook this into the USB port, and then just tuck all this up underneath the TV and not have any of it exposed. Okay, so in this sample, I've got my phone hooked up through Bluetooth to this guy. So right now the sound is only coming out the new chair.
Be a quick review of the
And what's nice about this, like I was saying, is because my old chairs don't support Bluetooth, I can't hook this audio up to them. But using that audio out that's built in, I can run it out of this chair and into the old chair, set this guy to off, and now we've got the sound coming out of both chairs. Or if the chairs are far enough apart, you can just hook up the analog transmitter that went with the old chair, and it will do the same thing. It will transmit out of this chair to the proprietary wireless transmitter to the other chair. So another major question I get is, will this hook up to the Xbox One or the PS4 or anything like that? The bottom line is, this video gaming chair using a Bluetooth transmitter, or the other chair, they use analog in. So if your device, be it this is an Xbox 360 for example, if this is a proprietary cable, this one has this one, but it also has HDMI. So if I'm using the HDMI out on this, it will not send a signal analog, because HDMI uses digital audio, that this transmitter can transmit to the chair. If I have this proprietary cable plugged in and the output is composite, which has analog audio that will plug in here, or if it's RGB, which also has analog audio, that will work straight out of the console into the transmitter and send it to either of these chairs using the Bluetooth adapter that I purchased, or the wireless transmitter that came with the other version of the chair. So whether or not these chairs will work with your Xbox One or your PS4, in my case, my TV has this analog audio out right here. So I can bring HDMI, which is digital, or RGB, or whatever other input my TV is capable of, and it will output on these two ports, as well as this digital optical out. It will output the audio into whatever I plug it into. So if I'm plugging it into the wireless transmitter that came with the first version of the chair, or the Bluetooth transmitter that I bought for the second version of the chair, any console will work with that chair, because my TV has the ability to do the analog out. If your TV doesn't have that, then you will definitely need to make sure that whatever cables you're using with your device, be it a PS4 or a Xbox One, has an analog audio out. If your TV, which mine does, has an analog out that is RCAs like this, or even the headphone jack that these, you can just go from headphone to headphone into the transmitter, it will work. If your TV doesn't support an analog out, then it will not work. These transmitters do not accept a digital signal, so it's got to be analog in some way from some device that can transmit. So in my case, because my TV has it, I do HDMI out of the Xbox into my TV's HDMI, and then I plug into the RCA audio output of my TV into the transmitter, and so it will work with any console because my TV supports an analog out.